Hey everyone, so today I am doing a full face of my high-end favorite holy grail products of the previous year. So I'm very excited for this one. I'm a huge fan of high-end products. I love brands like, you know, NARS and Hourglass, Tarte, Too Faced, Clinique, Benefit, you know, like I love high-end makeup, I'm not gonna lie. Of course there's plenty of good drugstore makeup, and if you want to find some new drugstore finds, make sure you check out my previous video. I'll link it down below because I did a full face of my favorite drugstore makeup. So hopefully there's something in these videos for everyone, and I have no idea what kind of look I'm going to do today, but we're just gonna wing it and find out. So for primers, I had a few primers that I mentioned in my favorites video, which I'll also link below. I showed you all of my favorites of the year, but here's a couple of my all-time favorites. My skin is feeling kind of dry today, so I'm gonna go with this product here. This is the Becca First Light Priming Filter, and it's purple and it's amazing. It's so hydrating and makes your skin glow. So when I use this, I use a pretty generous amount and just massage it all over. It smells so good too. Now for foundation, my other two shades are actually out of my beach house at the moment. I dropped them off there the other day because I am going to use it for New Year's, so I just took it up. But I do have this shade called Deauville. Hopefully I can make it work. I feel like I can make it work. This is kind of like my medium shade. So I've got Punjab, Deauville, and then Mont Blanc, I think, for my lightest one. And then my favorite way to apply this is with a Flawless Finish Sponge by XO Beauty. And I just dab it all out. It is such full coverage, the most beautiful finish. It lasts all day, the perfect color undertone. I'm obsessed with this foundation. It is my holy grail, like total holy grail. It's taken over Sheer Glow somehow. I don't know how, but it has. So I don't really need any concealing now, but my favorite concealer of the year goes perfectly with this, and it's the same brand, NARS. This is the Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I use the shade Vanilla, which is this one, under my eyes, and I use the shade Punjab on my face. This, I've gone through like 2 of these. It's my holy grail concealer. I said in my favorites video, my friend tried it. She was like, oh, can I borrow a concealer? But like, I've got really bad under eye creasing, everything looks so cakey under my eyes. So I was asking her what kind of formula she wanted, and I was like, oh god, I don't know. And I gave her this one and she put it on, she was like, oh my god, it looks so good. I was just like, yes, this is bomb. My favorite under my eyes, Summer Bisque, which is completely empty. I did order a new one off Ulta. They don't sell it at Mecca for some reason, so you have to buy it from America and forward it on. They do still have Well Rested, which is another favorite, but Summer Bisque is just a little bit less intense looking. And I love to use this with a small face brush. It's like one of my favorite brushes ever. And I just tap a little bit of that straight over the concealer to set it in place, and also it just brightens a little. This one works really well to conceal those super dark like inner corners you sometimes get. Studio Fix powder, I've used this for years. I'm just using the shade NC30 just to add a little bit more depth to the tone. We're gonna do some more face makeup. I was gonna do brows now, but I want to use some of these beautiful bronzing products. So this one here, I've already talked about this so many times on my channel, you have no idea. Like, well, you probably do have an idea if you watch my videos. Ambient Lightening Bronzer in the shade Radiant Bronze Light. Nailed it. Okay, so I just use a big brush of some kind. So I'm just using my powder brush I just used, and I'm just going to buff that over the higher points of my cheeks. My favorite places to bronze are kind of like on my cheeks. So that's why I kind of haven't been wearing as much blush lately in the last like year or so. And then I just put it up onto my temple, and then just buff it out, a bit underneath my lip, and then always on my nose because I've got a crooked nose, and this literally makes the world of a difference to make it look less big and crooked, if that makes sense. Like honestly, look at some of my old videos, old tutorials, it's such a difference. Contouring, we might as well go ahead and do that now too. I have loved the Pro Glow for ages, you guys know that, so I basically just use this shade. I wish they would release it as like a single color, but hey, what can you do? The actual like highlighters on this palette are beautiful as well, but like, I don't know, I still would just rather have the contour color by itself. It's so pretty, easy to blend, perfect color. Big fan of this. Have been using this for so long, you guys already know. By the way, yes, my hands look pale AF, but this matches my chest more, doesn't it? My hands always like fade first because like you wash your hands so much and your face. So like my face, if I tan my face, and my hands always like pale AF, and then the rest of me, you can't see I'm wearing a top, but you know what I mean. Now I'm going to take my favorite highlighting brush of the year, hands down. You guys need to get your hands on it. If you've not tried it yet, it's a really good brush. And if you love to highlight and you've never tried XO Beauty brushes before, it's a good starting brush just to see the quality and everything. This is the Detail Face Brush, and I'm using the highlighter mentioned in my favorites video, the Amrezy highlighter highlighter by Anastasia Beverly Hills. Hopefully it's still out. I know they brought it back, but it's probably sold out again. Honestly though, this is bomb. It's my favorite shimmery highlighter from High End. Like, the color is just perfect. It's all about the color for me, and the actual finish and formula is amazing, but that color just is so nice. And it works with a lot of different skin tones too. It just makes me look wet. I'm here for it. Now let's move on to the eyebrows. No surprise, Benefit Brows. Brow has been my favorite. I also love the browsings, but Brow is something I use on a more regular basis, and it's just like my holy grail brow pomade of all time, and it's the only one that hasn't dried out for me personally. Every other one seems to dry out eventually, but this one has not. So I'm using shade 3. Posty is here. What's new? I'm just using an eyebrow groomer brush, another really good one by So Beauty if you haven't tried them before. Best eyebrow brush on the entire market. Whew, literally like 8 packages just came. Usually they leave them at the door, but whatever. I'll unbox those on my vlog channel, as I often do. So let's just continue. I probably look strange with just one eyebrow done and like half my makeup done, but that's fine. You know what? Tough shit. Yeah, I just love this product. What I really love about it is it's so buildable. So you can do like a thin layer and have like a really natural look, or you can like add another layer and get those like Instagram baddie eyebrows, like bold eyebrows, you know what I mean? Like, even if you do it later in the day and add a bit more like at the end of the day just to touch up your makeup, it's so buildable. Like, it's really good. And I've only had this one the whole time I've been using this since I went to Las Vegas. When was that? Like, a long time ago when they first launched all these products. This is the only one I've used. Look how much I've still got left. This stuff lasts forever and it's still creamy. We love value for money in here. That's something I always think about, like with high-end stuff. It's like, okay, so how long is this gonna last? Because if it's a product that costs more, but you're gonna get a long amount of use out of it, to me, like, that's good. That's good value. That's why I'm such a big fan, I think, of like drugstore mascaras a lot of the time, because you know, you can get really cheap, affordable, good quality mascaras that don't last the longest. You know, no matter if you buy a high-end or a drugstore mascara, they usually only last a few months. Or if you're being technical, you should only be using them for like 3, but who does that? I'll show you one of my favorite high-end mascaras today. But still, I still think like drugstore mascaras are often the way to go. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. But of course we're not done until we follow up with our brow mascara that, you know, I wear pretty much every single day. This is Gimme Brow shade, this is actually shade 3.5, which is not my favorite. I like shade 3 better, but I don't even know what mine is, so I think I must have like taken it out to the beach house or something perhaps, but this one's just a little bit warmer than shade 3. It still works, it's still fine. I just still prefer shade 3 a little bit more, but they've added a bunch of new shades, which is super handy. So yeah, if you've got more of like a warm undertone, this is probably good. But then again, on top of shade 3 in the Brow, because that's such a like cool color, it kind of balances okay. But this brow mascara is my favorite. It sticks my hairs in place like all day. I use it by itself a lot too, and it's got good coverage, good pigmentation, really thickens the eyebrow hairs, so it gives you that sculpted look with like minimal effort. And then on top of like other brow products, it just gives a more natural look, like defines the eyebrow hairs and just brings your eyebrows to life. Eyelids, well, eyeshadow, why did I say eyelids? Like eyelids. Should I just make an eyeshadow palette called eyelids? No. Terrible idea. So I mentioned my favorites were like the Natasha Denona palettes as a whole. So I don't have like one favorite high-end palette this year because I use so many different ones all the freaking time. But I have to say, like, one of the most consistent, you know, favorites by a brand, Natasha Denona, like she released a few new palettes this year and every single time I was just kind of obsessed, if you know what I mean. So that's how I came to this conclusion. These are so expensive. I don't think everyone needs one of these. I think if you are receiving a gift and someone wants to splash out on you, request it because it is really good. If you want to spoil yourself rotten, go for it. You won't regret it. But if you don't have the money sitting there, don't feel like you need to buy this because there are such amazing palettes that are a lot cheaper, you know what I mean? It's definitely one of those splurge items. Like if you were prepared to spend the money, it is beautiful, but it's not a must have. They're not that unique. I might even use a bit of the Tropic palette because I did recently do a gold palette tutorial. I'll link it down below. It was a beautiful look. Very kind of, I don't know, just warm and cozy. I don't know how to describe it. It was a very nice tutorial. So maybe today I'll use the Tropic one. So I'm going to start with the shade, which is my favorite in this palette, called Vintage Taupe. It's kind of like a mauve, neutral mauve color. Does that even make sense? Probably not. I was using a fluffy blender brush. I'm not going to use a primer. Just gonna go straight in there. And these colors do blend out like an absolute dream. They're very easy. And I'm just going to go straight underneath my eyes with that same colour. Isn't that just such a stunning tone? I just think it's so pretty. I'm going to take more of a firm blender brush and take the shade Sahara, which is like a mustard kind of undertone brown, like a warmer yellow based kind of brown. I'm just going to add that straight in to my crease just to, you know, give it a little bit more dimension. And then I'm going to take the shade Cocoa, which is the darkest brown, and I'm going to apply a little bit of that on the outer V. The only time I think I've used this on my channel was not actually on my channel. I think I used this in an Instagram tutorial, so this is good that I'm using this one, I think. I really like it. But there's so many different Natasha Denona palettes to choose from. The gold one's probably one of my favorites personally. But yeah, there's a lot. There's some colourful ones too. A little bit underneath the eye corner. I think I'm going to go in with the shade Gusty, which is this beautiful warm red that I actually have not tried yet. It's very subtle. Kind of like an actual duochrome. It's not like a pigmented red. It's like almost a top coat. Like if you put like a neutral all over your eyelid and put this on top, I think it would look better, but we're gonna roll with it now. See, I'll swatch it on my finger and you can kind of see what I mean. Like it's just like a shiny kind of top coat, but we're rolling with it. And then I think on top of that a little bit, I'm gonna take the shade Limoncello, which is a beautiful pale bright gold. And I'm just going to put that like on the inner corner and blend that onto the lid a little bit. Just keeping everything quite blended and soft today. And then underneath I'm going to take a little bit of Xena because I just feel like using some fun colour. I have no idea if this is going to work good. But I'm just going to apply that like right underneath the first half of my eye. So we're looking at beautiful and soft. I'm just going to pop in a little bit of a purple eyeliner into my waterline. This is Asphyxia by Urban Decay. I've used this a few times on my channel. Probably one of my favourite eyeliner formulas. It wasn't in my favourites video though. And then eyeliner. So the eyeliner I chose was the Tarte Maneater, and the other one I mentioned was my Tom Ford dual-ended eyeliner. That one's incredible too, but this one's much cheaper. They're both really good. The Tom Ford one is very luxe. Amazing. So if you are treating yourself, it is good, but this one's probably a more realistic price point, and this is more like what I would want to pay for an eyeliner, not like, I can't remember how much the Tom Ford one, I think like 80 bucks or 90 bucks New Zealand or more even, I can't remember. But this one's really easy to use. It's got a very flexible pen chip. It is intense black. So one eye is definitely a bigger flick than the other, but we're going to pretend that didn't happen. Roller Lash is the mascara I chose for my favourite high-end one because I went through the most tubes of this compared to anything else, and not because it doesn't have much product or anything, just because I reach for it a lot, just naturally. I'm like, oh, I need a mascara. When I can't be bothered to think about it, it's like my go-to because it just curls like no other. It's super black and it's not super difficult to get off at the end of the night. So that's just like one single coat and it's just so pretty. It's not clumpy, it separates, it lengthens, it curls, it's black, it's good. And it's really nice, like the wand, it's not super messy, like I can get under my lashes no problem, get down the bottom, you know. It's just pretty, it's just a staple. Huge fan of this one. This is a high-end one I'd happily pay for. I'm going to use one of my favorite pairs of lashes by XO Beauty. These are called the Brave, and these are so amazing and so cheap. Amazing. Get on them. Let me show you how incredible they look. They literally look very similar to foam ink lashes, but so cheap. You can get an idea of how they're gonna look. Like I haven't stuck them on yet, but look at that. Alright, so those are drying. Now I'm just going to pop on a little bit of blush. I did mention that my favourite would have to be Clinique, but once again I haven't used a lot of blush lately. This is the shade Nude Pop. I'm just going to pop some on my cheeks because out of all blush formulas, these are my favourite. They're so pretty, the colours are amazing, they've got a good selection, and they're buildable, which is my favourite. So you can't really like screw it up. Okay, so on to the lips, and this is where I said my favorites had to be XO Beauty. I use so many different lip colors in all of my videos, but in my personal life, like my go-to is always XO Beauty. It's my own brand. It's just what I love. So I don't know what lip color to do with this look today. Maybe even a little bit of Meiraki, but I'll just show you how to tone it down. So if you swatch Meiraki by itself, it is the most amazing coral pink. Look at that pigment. It's so pretty. But one of my favorite ways to wear it is with Murray lip pencil. My favorite lip pencil by XO Beauty. It is just the perfect nude. These are so creamy but really long lasting. This color's really good personally for me because it like allows me to overdraw my lips without them looking stupid. Okay, so sometimes I just wear this color by itself, which looks actually really nice with this makeup, but now I'm going to take a little bit of Meiraki. Oh my god, I've got a freaking fluff on my... I swear every time I do makeup I get fluff stuck on this nostril. I just take a few dabs of this, so like just like this. And then once I've got some product, just blend it. And this is one of my favorite combinations. Actually, this is like my favorite combination of the year. I used to rave about this a lot, but I kind of forgot about it in the last couple months. You can also do this with the shade Elysian if that's a bit too bright for you. But yeah. And voila, that is the completed makeup. I'm obsessed. Wait, also the Glam Glow Glow Setter. Just like drown myself in this. I love that setting spray so freaking much. That was one of my favorites too. So yeah, that is the makeup. So pretty. I actually really love this look. It's so wearable. It's not too bold, but it's still like a bit dramatic, if you know what I mean. All of the products I used today I'm a huge fan of. Let me know if any of these products I used today are your favorites as well, and if not, let me know what your favorites are. What's your favorite like foundation, concealer, your favorite lipstick, like anything. Just let me know like some products that really stood out to you this year that you just cannot get enough of, because if I don't own them yet, I need to pick them up because I trust your guys' recommendations. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit those notifications so you're notified when I upload my next video. I upload 2 to 3 times every single week, mostly 3 times, and I also upload vlogs over on my vlog channel very frequently, so make sure you check out my vlog channel if you haven't yet. Don't forget to thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys in my next beauty video. Bye!